Hello and welcome back to my channel, Craft Time by Casey. I'm Casey and this video is part two in the short series of videos that I am making on how I organize my beading craft room. And just as I said in the first video in part one, of all the videos that I have put out, these are by far the most nerve-wracking because for me it's difficult to kind of put my personal space out there. For whatever reason, it's a lot easier to put my jewelry out there because I am much more confident in the jewelry that I make than I am in my personal space. But I am a little OCD in how I organize. So I know that I have watched several other videos on organization, and I have kind of taken several tips from those videos along with trial and error and just kind of coming up with things on my own. And all of that put together has definitely helped me come to a place where I am pretty happy with my bead room as it is, my craft room. So part one of the video was everything in my room except for my desk. So my shelves, my paintings, my extra storage over here, my painting supplies, light box, the products I use to ship everything. So if you want a detailed video of all of the things in my craft room other than my desk area, please go visit part one of my how to organize or how I organize videos, and it'll go into detail in all of my other things in this room besides my desk. So my desk area is pretty complex, but it definitely works for me. So if you would like to see in this video just kind of a detailed breakdown of this particular area right here, then stay tuned. All right, so here we go. I'm just gonna get right into it. And the first thing that I wanna talk about is the chair that I use. And I will say, I used to have a much, much cheaper chair in here, and it was just not quite as nice as this one. I ended up just going out and seeking out what I would consider just a very nice chair, very comfortable, because I sit in here for hours at a time and, multiple days a week doing my hobby. And for me, it was worth it to invest in a chair that makes me comfortable. And I purchased this at Rooms To Go. It is classified as a side chair in cobalt blue, and it is just incredibly comfortable. It is a little bit more expensive, but to me, it was worth it. This is a very comfortable chair, but it was, it was over $200. But again, to me, it's worth it. As much time as I spend in here making jewelry, I want it to be comfortable. So I'm gonna move my chair out of the way so that I can kind of get closer to the other stuff that's in here. All right, so the next thing that I'm going to talk about are my lamps. And I have 3 desk lamps in here. There's 1, and then 2 and 3, and these 2 pretty much stay focused on my work area. And what I absolutely love about these lamps, several things actually. I had one to begin with and I liked it so much I bought a few more, and I have tried other lamps that I didn't like as much, is that they're very easy to move. There's a joint here and a joint here where you can have it at different heights and it's not difficult to move it at all. And which is why I like them over here, because I can have them down focused on my work area, or if I, need to have them closer over here so I can see the beads a little bit better, then I can do that as well and just kind of move it back. So my lamps, they're definitely something that I recommend, and I will have the links for them down below. I'm going to have as many links down below as I can for the things that I ordered, things that I did not purchase in the store directly. And these lamps, they have just the touch thing. As you can see, when I moved it, the light came on because I was touching it right here where the power button is. So if we just touch it there, it automatically comes on like that. And it also dims. The light dims just like that. And then if you want to brighten it back up, you just touch it again, keep your finger down, and it brightens right back up. So these are desk lamps that I have found that I like the most. They work the best for me. They clamp onto the side of your desk like this. You do not have to screw anything through your desk. You can see that clamp that has that kind of pulley thing at the bottom that you spin that around and get it as tight as you need it to be for it to be pretty securely in place. So I have one there again, and I have this one in the middle clamped right there. And then I have the one over here that's clamped behind my power surge, just like that. It is the most convenient. It doesn't take up any desk space pretty much at all, short of maybe an inch there on any spot that it's on. So again, highly recommend the desk lamps. Now, let's talk about these shelving units before we get into how I specifically organize my beads. So, I saw these shelves. Let me go ahead and turn all my lights on and make it as bright as I can. I saw these shelves on another video. These shelves, these two and these two over here. These shelving units are whole units purchased as one. So when you get these in the mail, they are not adjustable. They is just one whole solid unit. You can see the kind of the glare in the back. That acrylic goes all the way down in the back. And I purchased two the initial time that I purchased them. And I really do like them. I mean, if out of 100%, I would probably rate them, an 85%, which for me, as critical as I am on a lot of the things that I use, that's really good. I do enjoy these, and as you can see, they work for most of the containers that I use. And if I didn't actually like them, I would get rid of them and use something else. I'm not one to hang on to something just because. So I really do like them. They hold, like I said, almost all of the containers that I use, the different sizes and whatnot, including the widest, I guess, containers that I have. But one of the biggest flaws that these shelves have, I'll show you. Actually, I'm going to turn these off because I almost think the natural light is a little bit brighter. So one of the biggest flaws that these shelves have is how big the shelves space is. So let me show you. I have my ruler here. Each individual shelf is under 4 inches. So you have about 3 3 3/4 inches each shelf, which again works for, 85% of my containers and my beads, which is why I keep them. They're kind of perfect for them, actually. But any container that you have that is bigger than that, like these, they have to go on the top shelf because that's the only space that will hold them. And when you have several beads that you need in the bigger containers, these shelves do not work for the bigger containers because all of the ones I have up there and all of these over here in the center, I had all the way across the top shelves of all 4 of the units that I had, and I ran out of space. It was too much. So that is one thing that I would highly recommend for you to keep in mind when it comes to these shelving units. They are not adjustable. However, again, for me anyway, they absolutely work for most of my beads. But for beads that I have a lot of, like you can see that one right there, some of my wooden beads, some of my glass pearl beads, rock chip beads, some of the beads that I have a lot of, or the larger beads like those that need multiple of the bigger containers down here, larger beads, multiple of the bigger containers. In order to make them work on these shelves, I had to have, 6 and 7 of the smaller containers. And to me, that just didn't function. So what I found that works for me now, I have 4 of these shelving units and I do like them a lot. I absolutely like them. I'm not, I'm being critical of myself because I definitely want to be honest and I want you to have this information in mind. These shelves over here, I keep them because it fits most of my stuff. But I went looking for shelves that fit larger items. I couldn't find any whole units like these that had adjustable shelves or more space. What I found were these. These shelves, which this size right here is 15 inches across, and these up here are 24 inches across. They're the same type of shelves. And if I move this here, you can see where the shelves end. I just kind of put them together side by side. So it looks like one gigantic shelf. It's not. It's 2 side by side. But these are the 24-inch ones across the top. And these are the 15-inch ones. And the awesome thing about these shelves is they come as individual shelves. It is not just one unit. And they are the same amount across, but you can set them as far apart as you need them. So I could even have larger containers than these if I wanted to. And right now, I have mine about 6 inches apart. So I could have that extra space. And for me, that works for the containers that I have, which you can see I have them pretty full. And I absolutely love these shelves. But to keep in mind, the one flaw in these is that they don't fit my large round containers. When I put these in here, the one flaw in the 15-inch ones is that they don't fit my largest containers. So just something to keep in mind. It's not wide enough for these. So these shelves are just under 2 inches deep. However, on the 24-inch ones, they fit. All of that to say with these shelving units is it's just a matter of keeping in mind what you have, the size containers that you're going to put in them. Now I will show you the different size containers that I have. This shelf over here, which I briefly showed in the video of part 1, is where I keep all of my extra containers. Okay, so this one are my 4.3 inch jars. These are my largest, as in tallest containers, and those are the ones that I have primarily down the center and across the top, because they are my tallest containers and I put them kind of where they fit. Now the rest of my containers that fit on these other shelves, one of my most favorite for the findings are these little 1-inch containers. And I originally purchased these at Joann Fabrics, and they come in a case of 30, just like these. But I found the exact same containers for on Amazon by a company called Big Otters, and these are amazing. And I've ordered several. I go through them all the time. So not only does that Big Otter brand have the 1-inch size containers, they also have the same container in 2-inch, which I love. And I find that the round containers stand up a lot more sturdy than these flat containers. But of course I still have them, and I have a lot of the my products over here in these flat containers. I have the 3-inch containers right here next to the 2-inch containers. And I will link all of these down below, but I do find that those, I mean, they tend to fall over, and it's not really, you know, that tragic. It's just a matter of picking them back up. So it's really not that big of a deal. But I find that the round containers don't fall over as much. They definitely stay up a lot better. They're a lot more sturdy. But again, these 2-inch containers are absolutely amazing. I love them, and once I found those, and the reason I found these by accident. I was looking up these containers, the 1-inch and the big ones. I was looking up those on Amazon, and when I found them, ordered them, I also saw that they came in these 2-inch ones, which is the perfect size for so many of the findings that I have. So I absolutely love the round containers. I like the flat containers, and I continue to use them, but I prefer the round ones. I haven't really gotten rid of the flat ones because they do function. And like I said, when they fall over, it's not the end of the world. It's just a matter of picking them up. So I will definitely link the containers below. So just to show you a side-by-side comparison, here is the 1.5 inch around, 1.5 inch diameter, 2 inches tall. This one is a 1-inch diameter, 2 inches tall. And then this is a 1-inch diameter, 1 inch tall container. And all of these will be linked down below. I also have the flat containers. These are the 3-inch tall flat containers. And then the 2-inch tall flat containers. I still have them, and I will link them below because I strongly feel that some people will prefer these. And again, it's not that I don't like them. It's just not my first choice. I prefer the round containers. And again, they will be linked below. These are the best large containers that I found. All of my containers are plastic, not glass. You can get these all in glass, but I'm not trying to have anything, easily breakable. So all of my containers will be linked below. And again, my preference would be the round containers. I think the only glass containers I have are these 3-inch round containers, and I purchased these at Hobby Lobby, and I think I only have, maybe 6 of these. And I'm not the biggest fan of these just because they are glass, and I have dropped one before and it broke, and I just didn't like that. So, but again, they are available at Hobby Lobby, but there you can only get, that I've seen, you can only get them in like a pack of 3, or maybe it was a pack of 4. It's not that many. Whereas these containers that are plastic off of Amazon, I get them in a pack of 30. So it was definitely a little bit more cost efficient to get the bigger ones, the plastic ones for me. They're plastic and they're taller. So to me, that was a win-win. Okay. So I think that is all I have for my containers and my shelves. I'm trying to think. Oh, one more thing. When I looked back to link them below, all I could find was the 15-inch shelf. The 24-inch shelf was no longer there, the longer shelf. And I have the box that my 24-inch shelf came in still, because I have 2 shelves left in it. It comes with 6 in a box, and I have 2 over here and 2 over here. And if I, ever need the extra space, of course I have the 2 over there that I could put up. From what I could see, the 24-inch was not available, but it's the same brand, same style of shelf in the 15 inches. And for me, having this flat corner space, it kind of worked out perfectly. The 24-inch wouldn't fit at this spot. It actually was like just a little bit too far at the corner. So the 15 kind of works perfectly. Okay, so now using the shelves and the containers, how I organize mine. So this side, I have all of my metal, all of my findings, spacers, jump rings, bead caps, just all the metal on this side. And most of the time, this light is off because I work over here. And these are the 2 lights that are on most of the time, and usually they're pulled down where they're kind of focused on where I'm working. Right now I have them up so we can kind of see the beads. But usually this light is off. I will turn it on to see the findings better, get what I need, and then I turn it back off. So that way the light is not beating down on the metal and, turning it colors and whatnot. So I'll turn it on for now for the purpose of the video. I have all of my metal separated by finish, by color. So I have the gold across the top, and everything that I have in gold is up there. So ear wires, bead caps, jump rings, spacers, let's see, crimp tubes I see in there, lobster clasp, posts for earrings. I have all of those across the top. So same thing in the other finishes, bright silver, and then super dark gunmetal silver. Here we have the bronze. I don't have very much in rose gold. I've never purposely purchased anything in rose gold. Usually if I buy a set of something, and that I was kind of seeking something else, and it came with a rose gold option also. You know, it came with it. That's why I have so few of the rose gold. Those are charms. Here I have the antique bronze. Pull this down a little bit. So yes, I have the antique bronze. Then down here I have the silver. And this is more of the, not gunmetal, but not bright silver. I'm not really sure what finish, I mean, other than, I don't know, regular silver? I don't know if that's the proper term. But this is what I use the most often, is the this silver down here. And that's, of course, why I have the most of it. Again, jump rings, spacers, crimp tubes, clasps. And then I have this shelving unit right here, which this shelving unit I have a love-hate relationship with. I love this because I use what's on here, I mean, a lot. So I like that it's a little convenient down here. But what I don't like is that the back of each shelf is open. So if I accidentally bump the shelf, things are constantly falling off of it. So I just purchased another stair step little shelf like this that is coming in with the back closed. So it's an actual stair step. And I'll go ahead and link that down below. I feel very confident in it because I love this so much in that it has that stair step system, and the only thing that I don't like is that it doesn't have the back. So these are all of my bead caps in silver. Again, I use most often this shade, so that's why I have more. And then these are my spacer beads. And for these, I do have a few of these containers still in use. I am not a fan of these containers. Again, once you stack up, you can't see them, and I tend to forget what I have, but I've kept a few of these because a lot of times what's in them are pretty large, and it's mostly like chandelier pieces, connector pieces. This is it's all toggle clasps. And those are also toggle clasps. And like I said, just a few stacked here. I do have a few of my other containers over here that I've kept. Mostly because they kind of travel pretty well. If I've ever, brought things with me. But for the most part, I'm not a fan of these containers for a whole lot of storage because I need to see it. I need to see what's in it. I need to see what I have, or I'll forget that I have it, and I don't like that. As you can see, I used to paint on this desk. That's what all this is from. Moving to my next shelf. What's on it anyway. So across the top, I bought a pack of pearl beads in different colors, and the amount that I had in each color was like just a fraction too much for these to close. So of course I had to use the next largest container that I have, and I had the space across the top. So those are all 6mm pearls, and I do use those constantly. Now here I have cube beads, and honestly not really sure why my rock chips are right there. I'm gonna go ahead and put them back over here where they should be. I'm just gonna pretend that wasn't out of place for a second. Nobody saw that. Okay, so these are my crystal cube beads. And if you saw the video of the crystal cube bracelet that I have, these are the cubes that I used, and they were all, see that yellow one is that full? They were all that full. I use these constantly. I think I've repurchased these maybe twice. I absolutely love these cube crystals. Some of my metal kind of has bled over into the next shelving unit, as you can see, because that one is pretty full. So I kind of had to use the space where I had it. But these are usually for me, I use these for bracelets because they hold the charms pretty well. You see the little posts sticking off of them. And then I have my seed beads. These are the check glass seed beads that I purchased, and I'm pretty sure I purchased these at Hobby Lobby. These are the 11-0 shelf, 8-0, 6-0. Like other things that I've seen, I've just started investing in kind of a higher quality of beads because they are much more similar in size. And you know, I have a few Toho in there. But I've found when you buy the cheaper seed beads, they are very, very different in size. I actually have some still up here, and I don't really use them anymore. I mean, there are some projects where it doesn't matter if they're the same size or not, but I have found for a lot of projects, it does matter if your seed beads are different sizes. So these less expensive seed beads are, I don't know. I have found, again, with a lot of things, it's worth the investment in the better, higher quality seed beads. And as you can see, I mean, most of them are opened and used. I use them quite a bit. These are what I have left of previous bead boxes, of the bargain bead box. And on my desk here, usually whatever the current month bargain bead box, I keep it in its own little container, so that, you know, I kind of know what came in the bead box, and so it kind of inspires me what to make and what findings and everything came with it. I keep that out, and that I know what I have left, what I've, you know, made. So I keep that in its own container until I get the next one, and then whatever I have left over goes up on the shelf and just becomes part of my, you know, my stash. I mean, obviously this is still part of my stash, even if it's sitting down here, but this is just the current bead box. And those right there are the previous bead boxes. And over there I have the multi-end connector pieces, and then a large container of magnet clasps. Okay. Down here I have silver chain, and obviously this one came from Potomac Beads. This one I purchased off of Amazon. This I got at Michael's. And there's the rest of my cord. I have the bead-along wire, stretch cord, fire line. I just kind of keep them stacked there. And here I have my my bead board, and usually I'll use this to kind of, I mean, for its purpose, to kind of measure out how long I want certain bracelets or necklaces, or if I have a multi-strand necklace, it definitely helps to make sure that each strand is the proper length. And these right here, I'll have these linked down below as well. I've seen these in so many different videos, these triangle containers. I've seen them in metal, I've seen them in plastic, and for the longest time I didn't get them because I'm just like, you know, what's the purpose? Well, I mean, I get the purpose, you want to keep them separated, but is it really necessary, kind of thing. So finally I was like, I'm gonna just try it. I'll try it and we'll see. Now I absolutely love them, and I recommend them. Biggest thing for me, especially if you're using seed beads, I'll have, you know, my mat here, I'll dump out different colors of different beads. And usually when I pick them up, I'm picking up a few at a time to put them back in the container. It might not seem like it's that big of a deal, but to be able to just scoop up everything that's left over in one go and pour it into the container, actually saves quite a bit of time and quite a bit of annoyance. Again, especially with smaller beads like seed beads. And even if it's only a minute here and there, as much as I use the different beads, now that I have these and use these all the time, I'm like, why on earth did I wait? They're really not even that expensive. So I'll have these linked down below as well. I recommend them. Are they necessary? Probably not. Are they a huge convenience? Yes. So again, triangle containers, definitely recommend. All right, so of course I keep my own little stash of paper towels, spills, whatnot. Okay, my center shelves. It's where I have all of my bigger, not all, most of my bigger containers, and where I keep a lot of my beads that I have a lot of. So I have my larger beads up here, wooden beads, rock chips, and then kind of glass pearls. Some of these are faceted. I like bead collections like these where you have the exact same bead in different sizes. It makes it very convenient to make different sets, like if you want a jewelry or you want a bracelet and earring set or a necklace and earring set. Bead sets like these make it very convenient. Of course, I have wooden beads here, larger glass beads, and then even larger beads down here. That's why one of the reasons I absolutely love these shelves where you can kind of space them as you need to. And then over here, my last two large unit shelves. I tried to color coordinate these a little bit, but sometimes it's better for me to put different, where you have beads of the same type in different colors, like these pearls here. They're mostly the same size bead, just in different colors. It was easier for me and more convenient to keep all of these together rather than separate them in, its own color spot. A lot of the beads across the bottom are beads I've gotten in my Potomac bead boxes or things I've just ordered from potomacbeads.com myself. A lot of my green beads here, different size pearls, my blue, and then of course other colors. And these are some of my plastic, and these are probably some of the only plastic beads that I have, because for my lanyards that I make, like those up there, some of them I use plastic beads for because it makes them more durable. If you think of a lanyard that you're wearing every day to work and you might toss it around a little bit more than you would toss, a necklace, and you have things hanging off of them. I generally just got these for the lanyards that I make and some of these are glass, but these are plastic. These are plastic, and I think these back here are plastic. And actually, I'm pretty sure these silver ones are plastic too. Again, mostly for the lanyards. They still look beautiful and they look really nice, but it adds to the durability of the lanyard. Again, these are some of the cheaper seed beads that I have. I am hanging on to them, but honestly, I'm not really sure how long I'm going to be hanging on to those. All right, so again, more color coordinated, kind of the metallic colors up here, and my black beads into some of the, whites, clear, off-white, tan. Got a few purple over here. More metallic colors. These over here are wooden beads. And these are 11-0 seed beads, but they are of the less expensive kind. So they do tend to be different sizes. These are some Rivolis that I think these are 18mm rounds that I purchased from Potomac's. I've used those for several different things that I've made. And as an example over here, I don't think I showed these in the last video, but these are some of the charms that I've made in different colors, pendants for different necklaces. The center of all of these is that as a 18mm Rivoli. So I purchased several of those. And then across the bottom, again, mostly beads from my Potomac bead boxes or from my orders from potomacbeads.com. All right, so that is most of my beads, and again, explanation of the shelves that I have. So across the back, that's where I put my tools. I just have, a simple thumbtack. Gotta have a pair of scissors. Those are my industrial cutters. I actually purchased those at Home Depot, and I purchased those specifically for memory wire, but I've used them for several different things, because if you cut memory wire with your, fine point cutters, it'll actually kind of ruin them. So I bought myself an industrial set of cutters, my one-step loopers, and needle nose pliers. I have several sets of round nose pliers, chain nose pliers. My larger crimper, I don't use that one near as much. I have my small crimper over here. I tend to use that one more often. All right, so that is how I store my tools when I'm not using them. Okay, so here is my mat. And this mat is actually pretty awesome. It has got non-stick on this side, and this mat, it doesn't move, and it is massive. It is 30 inches across by 15 inches long. I believe it was actually a computer desk mat. And like I said, I'll link it down below. It's advertised as a computer desk mat, but for me, it actually works beautifully, perfectly, because of the non-stick on the back, and just the felt of the front of it. I really like this mat. I'm obviously use it all the time. This is my MacBook. I have a MacBook Air. This is what I use to do all my video editing, and I also use it as a screen mirroring device. So I'll have it sitting over here, and it'll be mirroring my camera that's facing down, so that I can better see what I am doing for my videos to make sure that I am in view of the camera. And I purchased this specifically for my beading habit, but now I also have it, in here where I can watch TV or whatnot, Netflix, while I'm making jewelry projects. So it's kind of nice. But yes, I use the editing software on here as well. This is kind of my catch-all container. I have all my pins in here. This is a container that I keep right here open all the time. All the pins in different finishes. I have the glue up here, the E6000. I also use Gorilla Glue. And this is specifically the Super Glue Gel for hobbyists. I have my memory wire. This is kind of a catch-all. Of course, I have an Apple block here, USB. I have my size 10 beading needles. I have a set of cutters, bead bugs. This is the center pendant that came in the bead box. I could have probably actually have this over here because it did come in the March bead box. But the centerpiece is kind of a catch-all. I have 2 large beading needles, and this is how I use to design my bracelets before I make them. I slide all the beads on here, and I also have a few things that I made that went bad. Not that went bad, but that I didn't like. So instead of finishing the project, I kind of tied it off and just kept it in here. I have a couple different things that I've made that I was like, I'm not a big fan, so I kind of stopped at mid-project. And then back here behind this is my power surge. So here is my plug for everything at my desk, my computers, my lights, just everything that I have over here. It also has a phone charger on here. The light there at the end goes to my circle light down here. Nice big stain on the carpet. Yes, I dropped my paint when I was painting one of them. So nice big stain. But I have my circle light down here, and when I'm not filming, I have it, well, obviously I'm filming right now, but when I'm not filming a jewelry making project, it stays down there on the floor. When I am making a piece of jewelry that I'm filming, so I'll have my computer over here, the light will be sitting right here, facing straight down onto the mat where I'm making my whatever I'm making. All right. So again, one last time. Here is my desk area. Like I said, I know there is a lot to it, and that is why I separated my videos into a part 1 and part 2, because my desk area, it's just kind of a lot to take in at once. And of course, to include my chair. But here we go. All right. So if you made it all the way through this video, thank you so much. And this brings us to the close. So once again, I will have everything linked below that I have a link for. So I will thank you in advance for using those links, clicking on them, anything that you want to purchase that you think will help you. I greatly appreciate it. Using those links definitely helps this channel, and hopefully my honest criticisms and my honest feedback for the things that I use, I hope that helps. Even if it's just kind of bits and pieces, I greatly appreciate every one of you for watching this video. And again, I do hope that it helps, even if it's just a little bit. So if you liked this video and you want to see other videos like this, mostly jewelry making tutorials, unboxings, hopefully some inspiration, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Give me a like, leave a comment. What do you think of my beading space? Again, it can be very nerve-wracking to kind of put your personal space out there and leave yourself open for scrutiny. But I love reading your comments. You guys are so kind. And I hope that any bit of this helps or gives you ideas on possibly how to organize. So again, hit that subscribe button, give me a like, and leave a comment down below. If you made it this far, thank you so much. I love being a part of this jewelry making community, and I definitely look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.